why you live.
Well, that's what happened to me. I got out of the car to take a pee, and that was it.
What was it?
That was what?
I missed it too. What?
Well, I died.
That makes sense.
And I remember, you know, you just can't hold it in. If there's a choice of, I was there and I had to hold it in, and I said, as long as I held it in, I could live.
I held it in. I let it go, and they put me in jail in London. You know. But back to the central issue.
You guys tell what you had, the experiences you had out there trying to get a conversation going at lunch break with anyone
Every friend
on the
I ever
number
had-
one issue.
Every friend I've ever had would eventually tell me that I needed to stop talking about it. You know, you just got to stop talking about this.
Too maudlin.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about it every time we were
I
together.
was going to say, you know, when...
We didn't. I mean, once every 6 or 7 months, I figured I could handle a conversation. No, eventually I'd say, "Oh, you got to stop talking about this."
Yeah, it's like getting up and looking weird.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I
things
used to
like this
work,
make me feel weird.
I dropped out of everything for a while. I got a job at a factory making tires. And I used to
This is a little overqualified.
Speaking of the perfect...
The
serpent biting his
And
tail.
we've heard the experience of a doctor who couldn't decide between hooking and medicine as a trade.
Yeah.
But with the same question in mind, and was looking through both of those trades
That's
for
right.
someone to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those trades are
But I really,
talk to
I
them.
spent a lot of time with hookers and doctors.
yeah, and
Sorry.
half of them are honest and the other ones aren't.
Okay.
Anyway, so, and I'd work graveyard. I'd get there at midnight and get off at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And see, I had been a philosophy major,
Yeah.
which is one reason I dropped out.
The minor in corruption.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd go to work, and I had my little satchel, and I had my reading material for the night. And after about 3 months, I was approached by some of the guys I worked with and says, "You'd better stop bringing that stuff in here."
Serious?
Yeah, I'm totally serious, because it was a total threat. It was an absolute threat to what was coming down there.
Yeah.
Somebody should tell the story of Parker. You can tell it.
Well,
I
sure.
think you're the only one here who
Mine,
can.
though.
Doesn't that come to mind?
Well, so basically what I had to do is I had to pull it back in.
Yeah.
I had to not let people know that I was talking about these things. I couldn't reveal it.
Oh, didn't you have experiences like that at Bill
It's crazy.
Laswell's?
Yeah, but
That's
in a way it's-
catch-22. I mean,
In a way it's crazy, but that's the way they want to live.
you don't want to deny.
Okay.
There's no progress,
That's
denial,
okay
and
with
then
me,
you
but
live without hope.
See, but I debated this for years.
Yeah.
I was into this thing about, well, they need to know. It's so goddamn important, they need to know.
Yeah, you wanted to tell them.
And I needed to tell them about it because I knew it was important for
Thank
me.
God you
What were you
already
going to
know.
tell them?
I wanted to share this thing with them, this meaningness that it had for me, that it didn't have for them.
What did you conclude from
Meaning
that?
of what? Life? Or...
What do you think you'd gotten
my
hold of that they
base
hadn't
of my
gotten hold of?
existence. Pardon?
What do you think you had gotten hold of that they hadn't?
That's what I'm asking you.
Somehow,
going to
for
tell
some
them?
reason, I don't know what it was, but I was able to pull the veil aside,
Yeah.
and I could see it. This was important to me.
Yeah, you reach plateaus like that all the time,
Yes.
and you gotta keep going.
And there was no
bumper.
question, there was no longer a question for me
Yeah,
that it was important.
yeah,
That wasn't even an issue.
yeah,
Then it was all how to.
yeah.
See, and that's when it was clear.
How to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
See,
die.
And die.
Well,
Because all of that's a critical
if
part.
you
of it.
live right, you should die right.
No.
I think I look at my wife, I think she
See,
lives
to
good,
die
she's
right.
gonna
So
die
you
good.
can't die well unless you live well.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But to live well does not guarantee to die well. There's another
I
step.
meant psychologically.
But there is a step. There is a preparation. The best way I can tell you, and I hope this makes sense to you guys. I don't think I've ever made this connection for anyone else, and it's worth mentioning. I found out I was going to go to Vietnam in 1962. Probably going to go to Vietnam in '62 with the 1st Division. The training for it was so intense that you had no time to, for what I did, I can't tell you what I did, but I can tell you the training was so intense that everything was reaction. And a given set of circumstances produced a given set of reactions. And that's what they wanted you to have.
Yeah, right. Soldiers first response.
Yeah. And the people who didn't learn what we learned well did not learn it well and didn't have luck. I mean, you had luck also, but the people who didn't learn those responses died within the first 30 minutes of action.
Yeah, they say that's 30 seconds.
Well, 30 minutes is what I saw people getting hit. About every...
You actually saw that, you were in combat.
In that half hour.
Wow.
The first half hour, we lost 6 out of 10 of our team. I was one of 2 survivors total. No. And what I found is that the training was far worse than the combat.
Oh yeah.
Much worse. And that in combat, I couldn't think. I couldn't reason, I couldn't plan, I couldn't plot things out, I couldn't strategize my actions, I couldn't even decide whether to run or not to run, whether to move or not to move, whether to go right, left, or indifferent, whether to start firing or lay low. I couldn't make any of those decisions. I could not think. The concussions were going off all around us. We had rockets slamming in everywhere. We had mortar coming in everywhere. We had small arms fire boring in from just off the tree line, 1,000 yards away. Everywhere, bullets were zinging, zzz, 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 everywhere, every direction. People were dropping all over the place, screaming all over the place. Clouds of smoke, totally unseeable, and I couldn't hear after the first second.
The smell.
The smell was unbelievable. The sound was like, I can't even begin to tell you what the sound was like. It was like being in a curl, you know, being caught in a tube, running a tube in surf, with no chance of ever coming out of it. And I reacted, and in my near-death experiences, I found that when I reacted, and I knew the reaction, I knew the responses to give and to go through, and it worked for me. I've coached people through actual deaths, and I've had to work with them to get the reactions in place, and they understood, everybody understood this. I get it. It's a learned response. It's a mechanical thing, it's a learned response, it's just like gymnastics.
Just like life.
Just like life. It's a learned response, and then you can pass easily and well. Not with dignity, the hell with dignity, that's a nonsense idea.
Right.
But you'll pass well. All right.
Well, I'm sure, excuse me for interrupting you, but I'm sure that I'm making much ado about very little. And death, where is thy sting? I'm sure it has a lot to
The last half hour is the only part that'll get you.
that's something, and probably, unless there's a lot of pain leading up to it, that's another story.
Right.
Sorry, carry on.
Dying, I can do nothing about. Dying, I
Yeah.
know nothing about. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a
At
physician.
least they can give us morphine.
Well,
Thank
yeah,
God
you got
for
that.
My doctor promises morphine.
Yeah. You get Brompton cocktails, which most of my friends that have died have ended up with. Is
Yes,
Bromptons.
at least it's something.
Yeah.
It's all you can get out of life. A few laughs.
Tabby's dad.
That's why last night was so
morphine
important.
capsules.
DJ,
Yeah.
that's why last night was so important.
Why?
It may not be to you, but
It was.
it made such an impact on me. I'll always remember it. I'll always thank you for that. It was so great to see people actually being given stuff and you handing out this presents. You know, I was looking at you and I was welling up. I felt, Jesus Christ, this is what Frank Capra was talking about. And it was so nice to see everybody here and talking and it was like the first night I arrived, you know, go in the studio and do some stuff. That's great. If that's the best life has to offer, I'll settle for it. You know?
Yeah, that's
And,
it.
and that's cool.
This is what our life is like.
This is part of it. Now, how do we keep it like that?
Well,
Well,
we do.
You know?
One
We
way
do.
to do it.
God bless you.
One way to do it is you work together.
Oh yeah.
You have things that you pull together on.
How
And
can you
it's
do it
like-
unless you communicate?
Well, we do.
Yeah, you do.
We
Yeah.
do.
But if
You
the
can't-
guys
you
at the
do
tire
too.
factory do tell you to keep it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Harry, the point
I
is,
didn't grow up in that
everybody
tribe.
here discovered, that they were a stranger in a strange land, and that there was no one to talk, very few to
And
talk
there is
to.
mortality.
Yes.
I had to come here from Brooklyn to talk to somebody
Right.
about what you're saying, you can't talk to people, and I thought, because, you know, I got through the death experience, and I was on the other side, and I came back, and it was okay here, and it was okay on the other side, I was just going through it, that I still can't handle, even though I know what's there,
Yeah.
going through it, but I couldn't talk to anybody, and I thought, well, it's so important to me, they must, you know, why isn't it important to them?
Why isn't it
They don't
important?
want to know, they're happy the way they are, it was actually...
Well, there's a question.
it was mean for me to lay that on them as well. I after a while, like, why am I doing that? I'm hurting them. They don't want to know this.
Same as David,
Yeah.
felt a need to.
Yeah. Well, I thought everybody wanted the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought, because I was interested in
And
what.
by the way, I
was-
think they do.
Well, I don't
You
think
think
that.
I think we do. I think we want a pain-free immortality.
Well, we don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if that's... if
Don't
that-
we all want that?
No,
You don't want that, a pain-free
I do not want to
immortality?
pain for you more, no, I don't want that.
I was in a
I don't
class
want
of 300 people at UCLA, and that question was posed by the professor,
Yeah.
and 99% of the people raised their hands, yes, I would prefer a pain-free existence. 3 of us raised our hands when, you know, we said, no, we don't want that.
Were you honest when you said that?
When I said that, I was
You
utterly
can't speak for
honest.
anybody else, but for you.
I was utterly honest.
What did you know that made you answer? I know what I know.
That's a forced question.
I know it is. I'm going to get. Well, I'm going to give you the weasel.
Rhetorical
For it.
after.
No, I'm going to give you the weasel, so you don't have to answer.
That's not fair.
No, I know what I know.
Do you think you know what you know? You don't know what you know.
Why I answer yes,
I think
I will accept. No, I'll accept pain with mortality and immortality. I have to accept pain with it. I will accept it.
But why
I know-
would you say?
That's what I meant. Why do you say it? I know what I do. Why do you say it? What makes you say that?
Because it feels so good when it stops. I mean,
No, it isn't. It's in the struggle that you put in, that you're forced to put in an effort, that everything comes out of you to put in that effort, and that's life to me. That's living.
Yeah, you partially, I think, universally speaking, yeah. But what about harmony as opposed to conflict? See, last night was harmonious.
That's a question
It
of
didn't have
aesthetic.
pain.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, that is the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's a
Wait a
question
minute,
of
what makes you
aesthetic.
think-
Life without, I love life very much. And I especially love little children. Because I mean, what the hell else is there? And again, though, it's another reflection of ourselves. We reproduce ourselves again. Why? What's that all about? What is that about?
You know-
Why are we here?
You know what the
Is
cops
there a
say when
reason
you
we're
have 7 different witnesses, you'll have 7 different stories.
That's right,
Yeah.
Rashomon, yeah. But my God, don't we all? Why are we here? What is this? What is this we're going through?
That's a hell of a question. You ask an easier question when you ask David, what does he have in mind when he says? I think maybe I'm not sure if the connection is here is as strong for you guys as it is for me. I see it very clearly. To me, if I learned any secret at all, besides the secret that there is no secret, the secret is connected with pain, and I know that David got this. I know that Barbara got this. I know Linda got it. I know that Jimmy got it. I know that Morgan got it. I know that Tim got it. I know that Tabby got it. The people, Yanesh, I'm not sure yet, because I don't know Yanesh well enough to know that. I don't know Oz well enough yet to say they did. I know Della. I've known Della for decades, and I know that she knows this. There's something about the acceptance of pain. I'm going to get back up a second. When you get sick, David, you get sick, you get a flu, you get sick, you get a stomach flu, worst kind of flu, you start throwing up and you're diarrhea all over the place, and you're crawling to the bathroom. Before that happens, you know what has happened, you know what you're in store for, you know what's coming. You've seen this flu, a lot of your friends have dropped in the last couple of days, it's coming, you know it. You get that first queasy feeling. Did it ever stop in you that thought, Jesus Christ, I wish this wasn't happening to me. Why do I have to get sick? Why must I get sick? Do you know that?
Or I don't want to be sick.
I
The
don't
pleasure
deserve
pain
it.
principle, you know.
It's unfair.
Right.
It's unfair.
Sure.
Why should I be sick? And so-and-so is they're well, and I'm sick. That's even worse. That's part of it.
Yeah, that's another.
It's a subset, but it's there.
I hate assholes who feel no pain.
That's right. How can those? And I had when I had scarlet fever. I remember lying in bed, hearing kids playing outside and dancing and singing and joyfully jumping around, and I'm lying in bed with scarlet fever, thinking, how can those kids be making that kind of sound outside my window like that? That's terrible. Don't they know the kind of pain I'm in?
Yeah, I used to think
Maybe I should tell him. Maybe I should tell him.
It never.
Tell the kids. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want
No,
to
no,
tell
very
them, they just
serious.
figure it out.
It not only never occurred to me to derive some pleasure from their laughter,
Right.
to somehow partake of their laughter from my sick bed.
I think that's sick.
Oh,
It's not any sicker than hope. And
Yes.
Wait a minute. That's the only thing we have.
Well,
Is hope.
well, no.
Oh no, it's
No.
not true. I'll defend another position. But wait,
I disagree with
Me
that.
too.
We're looking at it right now.
no, that's,
okay. I mean, you know,
No, there's-
throwing
there's-
out the footballs. You know.
I would like to keep
But-
Is there something more important than
but not only did I fail to grasp that I could partake in their merriment, even though I couldn't enjoy it in the same way. I was
That's what I was
forced.
talking about last night, EJ. See, I was taking what I perceived to be your merriment.
Oh, it was
And
fabulous.
yours.
It was
Yeah, it
wonderful.
was.
It
I
wonderful.
But was
thinking
yours
of that.
also?
That's what I'm saying. I was
That's
I was enjoying the kids' laughter downstairs. You know.
That's right.
But back to you.
Yeah.
But we're still
Why
all
did
dying.
you raise your
But
hand?
we're still all dying.
I know, and we're all going
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I mean, we're
We're
dying.
all
We're
dying.
all of us
We're
actually.
dying.
We're
We're
in the
dying.
process of dying right now.
Pain in the ass, cancer, prostate cancer's gonna get you.
So,
Yeah, I don't know if it's prostate, but
what about?
something like that.
But what about pain?
Yeah, why did you say? Yeah, why did you and the other two? Why did you raise your hand for?
How do you feel when you get sick? That's what I'm asking you. How
When
do
you
you
get
feel
sick?
when you
get sick.
By the
One
way,
of the things-
I
When
think
you
Jesus
first get
is
sick.
mine.
You like it?
when you first get sick? Do you feel like it's unfair that you should be sick? Like the little
Yeah,
thing
I mean, sometimes I feel like
if you feel like that, you're going to feel that way about death too. You see?
yeah.
But why did you
I
say
agree.
the pain? Why would you like to experience the pain? Or is it part of life, or what?
Did you say like experience to experience
I
pain?
didn't say that.
I didn't say that I like
I'm sorry.
pain.
I don't
It was a choice of
Yeah.
you can have an existence that
Would
is
you have it
free
with or
from
without?
pain,
Yeah.
totally free from pain.
Yeah.
Or you can have just the stuff that it is, you know, the way it is now. It's the up and down, it's the pain, the scraped knuckles, all of that. What would you like?
Pain free.
Yeah, well, that's what, I mean, I'm talking like 200,
Yes, but you okay?
250 people.
But
Don't you
why
think
did
that
you
people
say
who
you
are going
prefer
into the VRG systems now,
That's what they want.
people who are
They want
VRG addicts are
Right.
looking for pain-free existence.
And the other
It
thing-
is not
What
pain-free.
is VRG?
Virtual
reality.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Gaming.
Yeah.
Virtual reality gaming.
Yeah.
It's
It's addictive, highly addictive.
highly addictive. It's the same thing with the mind merchants, the
Yeah.
brain mechanics.
Remember Mad Comics,
Sure.
issue number 1, Blobs? It's
Yeah.
coming true.
it is.
Issue number one.
But why do
Second
actors
story in issue number 1. Bill Elder did the drawing.
Great.
why do actors like to play heavies in movies?
It's easy
Why?
because they have a definition.
But they're more meaty roles. They can play the whole range of the
It
character
doesn't matter.
too.
It's easy. That's why they like it. It's enjoyable and they have a definition. It's clearly defined. A heavy is a bad guy. A good actor tries to make that bad guy sympathetic. Yeah. But having fun, we always talk about, I have fun playing the villain, you know. But back to reality, virtual reality. When
But
you're
why do
in
people
hurt,
seek
That's
it?
reality.
when
Don't
you're
they
in
seek
pain,
it to relieve pain?
Yes.
And aren't most commercials about the relief of some sort of pain or irritation
or enhancement of pleasure?
Yeah.
Or the sustaining of status quo.
Yeah.
that to me is the most horrid thing I could think of.
Well, I'm not suggesting that that's necessary.
All right.
But yeah, we said harmony
That's right.
and.
In biology, there is no steady state. We all
Right,
agree to
that's
that. I
right,
mean,
because it's totally balanced, then it,
Well,
where's
it's
the
dead.
life there?
well, there is
Well,
no,
we
you
know
can't have a
that,
steady state. You can't have a,
you
you can't have a
cannot
biological
have
system that
physics.
never gets ill.
Well, there's nothing that stands still long
Right.
enough.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so if that's the point, in
Yeah.
a sense, that's the point. It's not gonna stand still.
I know
And
that.
that's okay with
But
me.
I don't like the pain. And I don't like the idea of my own demise.
Okay, where does it say
And where does it say
that
we
you're
have to
supposed
like
to
it?
like it? Right, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
did ask to be
it's a
born?
stupid answer for
That's
that,
it.
but I don't have a better
It's
one.
as rhetorical as what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know,
Uh,
did I ask to be born?
No.
How do you know?
Yes.
Yes.
In which language did I ask?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yes. According to Dr. Seuss and the Hoover Loop Highway, yes, you
Yes,
did.
you
Okay,
did.
yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
didn't ask, you at least agreed.
Yeah, he's changed his mind too, you know.
The,
Uh,
the
We
thing
haven't-
about my experience that I've said is I was in extreme pain for 3 months. And my guts laying all over the table, everything was just splayed open. And based upon that, my viewpoint from that now is it's one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life, but I'd never recommend it to anybody else. I
Well,
learned so much out of it.
Fortunately, the mind is a great defense. It doesn't allow you to remember pain. But if you could remember that pain, you wouldn't say that.
Every time I hear your damn song, I remember that pain.
You remember the associations.
Of that space. But that music takes me right into
No.
No, you
No,
can't.
but I can
Not
not
in a
physical
way
pain.
right.
Not physical
What I'm
pain.
asking, back is, suppose you're sick. Never mind dead or dying, because you can't conceive that until you actually are. Believe me, you can't get it until you're in it. I've talked to so many people who say, no matter what I did to prepare for this, I was never prepared
Yeah.
for it. It's like childbirth. You can't really prepare for childbirth. You can prepare as best you
It's probably
can.
easier than we think.
It is. It is.
Yeah. But nevertheless,
But no matter what you thought it was going to be,
the
you know,
negative form of old
hark.
is the greater.
hark a cannon. Hark a cannon.
What the fuck was that?
We know all this energy. That's why we don't. You wonder why we don't tell jokes to each other?
Why?
I once
37.
We have another saying around here. You
Some
can't,
guys can't tell a story.
That's it.
we have another saying around here that we use a lot. You can't change what is. You can learn to like it.
We don't really say that.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's defeatist, but
No.
that's pretty defeatist.
I want you to know that I didn't mean your damn song either. I really like that song a lot. So.
I didn't write it.
Well, anything that's inevitable is maybe, that's another way of saying anything that you know is inevitable, where you could deal with it in some way or confront it. in
One of my
some-
favorite questions with
That's
women
the
who were giving
unknown.
doing childbirth
Yes.
was, do you remember the question I asked you before you delivered each time?
Would you like to reconsider?
Are you sure you want to go through with this? And I've asked, there was a woman named Joan
I'll get back to you.
in 1980 or 81, was it?
With
Joan?
Kate work
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be 82.
No, it wasn't. 81 at the very latest.
5:30 Thursday.
Yeah. We could probably get it down.
She was one of the first known cases of AIDS.
Mm.
And when she was dying, she was asked, what are you going through? She said, nothing prepared me for this. It's so easy.
Great.
Yeah. She said,
I'm tired. I want to close my eyes now. Thank you.
Yeah, she was gone. She was gone. 20 minutes, she was gone.
The interesting thing is that we know when we're dying. That's interesting.
Yes, the 2-minute warning is true. It really happens.
The guy jumping out the 50th floor of the building and 48 floors down says, everything's still fine.
Yeah.
So far.
So far.
So good.
And the other guy who jumps from the floor. Cut velvet!
Oh, Superman. You're such a...
When you're drunk.
So what Oz, you went through a thing, trying to find people to talk to. like Bill Laswell's and
Yeah.
Bill Lazarus, you know.
Remember old lads.
I always associated rebirth with death. So to me, death wasn't necessarily a negative or a final experience, but because I connected rebirth with it, the idea of some kind of change taking place.
Conscious.
Yeah, trying to make it conscious. The problem I had was I could never figure out how to program that time in between you died and when you were reborn.
It's tough.
John Lilly and I used to have discussions for about 20 years. The only thing we could talk about was, once I'm there, then John says, and I've heard this from Dr. Tim as well, once I'm there, it is cool. It's the transitions that really tear me up.
And it's
true.
about you.
You damn right it's true. And the one thing I fear most is the transitions, and I told him that. I don't have any better answer than anybody else has.
Well, it's no different.
The transitions are horrible.
Yeah.
The only thing I can tell you is that I do know some ways to make those transitions tolerable. Not better, not great, not wonderful, but better.
You can't take
Tolerable.
the pain
Tolerable.
away.
Tolerable, excuse me.
Yeah.
The pain is still there. The pain is still the pain of loss and grief and misery and confusion and...
To me,
I
a
had a-
hangover is just...
I had a friend who had spinal meningitis. He was a science fiction writer, one of the most brilliant science fiction writers in the field. He had spinal meningitis. His name was Randall Garrett. He lived the last few years of his life with no memory whatever, no back brain, no back brain. He had absolutely nothing. From moment to moment, he had to be told where he was, what he was doing, who he was, what was going on. He had zero memory.
Did he care?
We don't know.
Yeah, right.
He cared for
This is
moments.
the tragedy of Alzheimer's. They used to
Yeah.
joke about it, and
Yeah,
a shrink told me it's not funny.
No, he was
I thought it was
always
very
in.
painful.
Salvation.
No, he was always in confusion, and he was constantly wondering what was wrong with him.
Sounds normal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
that's-
it's worse if you don't know that. You're around, something's wrong, something feels weird, I can see through the wall, I shouldn't be able to sense and feel everything I feel.
It's, yeah, if I'm dead, what am I doing? How come I have to take a crap, I'm
Yeah.
alive, what am I doing in this coffin,
You're with a whole bunch of other people who don't feel that and don't want to feel that and don't.
And assume that you.
I don't mean here, but.
Yeah,
Well, Jimmy, if you could speak 17 languages, how come you didn't say anything when they popped you in the oven?
That's
right. Nobody ever asked.
How many people got that? You guys all talked about this at one time. You were a top museum designer, meeting the most intelligent and scientists all over the place. Goodness gracious, what happened? You met some of the greatest scientists and astronomers and mathematicians and physicists and what happened?
Drummers.
And drummers.
Well, you see, I think
Tell
I
who
have,
you met. I mean, the people that you met. It's amazing.
Oh, I know all sorts of people. I discovered that by telephone you could call anybody.
Yeah,
And the bigger they were, the easier they actually were to reach.
that's
And the
amazing.
more
I'm still
results
a
you could
fear
get
of
out
that.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, I had that fear too, but when I discovered I could get results, it was better than dealing with assholes I couldn't get anything
Yeah.
from. So I
You
just
and
decided to
Rhonda,
go
I
straight to
think.
the top. So from then on, it was great. It was fun, I had
Yeah, then it's like, who do you want to call?
Well, right, what exhibit could I come up with that I could deal with some fun people? So I would spend my time thinking up fun exhibits, and then who could I call and what could I do? So I was calling all over the world, get numbers. How do you get a telephone number? I don't know. We'll find it, It was great. And then I was offered a job to work at the biggest science museum in the world. I would have been set for life, it was fabulous. But it was that or come here. I said, fuck that, I'm coming here.
Really?
Yeah. I was going to move to Paris. I would have probably stayed there. I love Paris. It's a beautiful city. It's got 600 museums. I love museums.
So those damn frogs.
Right, well, I'm
But
a frog.
No, but the thing is, she spoke. For instance, she speaks to Parisian art dealers who, they'll screw you if they think you're American. They'll absolutely screw you.
Americans,
show-
bend over.
They're like that. I mean that way. They really are unbelievable. They hate Americans, and they're not too fond of Quebecois either. And she speaking Parisian French and stuff. Just say, no, explain what happened when you got on the phone, and what you said and what he said back, but do it en français.
En français. Bon, alors, j'avais appelé un représentant français. Et puis, j'avais besoin d'informations sur Dali, à propos d'un folio qu'il avait publié dans les années 50. Et puis après une longue conversation avec lui, il m'a complimenté sur mon français. Alors, il m'a dit, vous parlez très bien le français. Et moi, je lui ai répondu, mais vous aussi, monsieur.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. If I think of it.
So she can live in Paris
Wow.
and pass as a Parisian. She has the Parisian French.
We got along very well after that.
But she didn't do that, she came here.
I need to get the AC adapter.
And
Now
When you say here, what do you mean here?
here in
To
California,
Fresno.
I moved away from that type of career where that was leading me to
A crazy.
come to live here and think
Speaking of
about
breath.
death and to start preparing